Oh, there we go. Now there's sound. Was there no sound the whole time?
I guess.
Okay, sorry about that. Shavua Tov. Welcome back. Okay, is it better now? Sorry. Somehow the microphone needed to be re-plugged in. Can you hear now? Let's begin with a Mishaberach. Is that better? Can you hear now? Is that better? Oh, now it's green. Okay, sorry. A new week, new technical challenges. Better? Okay, so Shavua Tov. It took us, there's just gonna be glitches. So that's why we gotta leave the important things up to something bigger than ourselves. Psalm 68 says, find your purpose, find your meaning.
68?
68. I think I was hoping it was 66. But it is 68. We're up to 68, the second part of 68. So let's offer a Mishaberach, a healing prayer for Corinne and her baby. For little Deegan. For all the people on our healing prayer list. For Sam, for Jack.
Healing of the spirit and the healing of the
for
body.
Louis. For all the people that are struggling with COVID and cancer and their diseases.
For those we don't know.
To heal from.
On my right, the angel Michael. On my left, the angel Gabriel. In front of me, Uriel, Uriel, Uriel. Behind me, Raphael. Above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head. Shechinateh. Michael, who is like God, Gabriel, God is my strength. Uriel, God is my light. Raphael, God is my healer. Above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head. Shechinateh. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
We do the best we can. We dare. Shout out to God. And all things come from learning. As long as we continue to learn together, there's hope.
וערבנה אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפי עמך בית ישראל. Make the words of your teaching pleasant on our lips and the lips of all of those that come into our circle so we can spend a time in learning. For pleasure and for its implications in our lives, the works of our hands. Ma'aseh yadeinu, nihye nachnu b'tzetzainu v'tzetzai kol Beit Yisrael kulanu yodei shemecha v'lomdei toratecha, learning this way. Baruch atah Adonai melamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Blessed are you who teaches to your people in this fashion. Amen.
Psalm 68, we arrived at verse 20 on Friday, I believe, and it's a prayer, or it's a blessing actually. Baruch Adonai Yom Yom.
Amen.
Blessed, is this presence in our lives a day at a time. If we learn to take things a day at a time, we won't be overwhelmed. We won't take on more than we need to. It's not that we don't keep our eye on the prize and learn from the lessons of reaching and sacrificing for something greater, but we do it by living a day at a time, Yom Yom.
Yom, make it daily.
So that it says, blessed is, the source of living day that gives us the strength to live a day at a time, Yom Yom.
Day at a time.
May that source give us only as much as we can bear each day. Because this is the source of our salvation, right? Selah. And that's, I think, where we ended. So it's going to take us on a journey, the rest of this psalm. God is to us a God of many ways. In other words, we know this. We know that there's lots of ways to live a moral and a holy life, right? There's not just one way. There's not just one faith or one path, or there's lots of different ways. And each of us, that's part of our work, right? Is to find the way, the garment that best fits our soul, so that we can be inspired each day to live that holy life. And the garment can come in the guise of the Quran, or in the New Testament, or in Torah. It can come in the guise of the Upanishads, or Shakespeare, or whatever, poetry. It can come in yoga. It can come lots of ways, but it's our work to find our way so that we can find our way to salvation in one of those many ways. For God's mercy, even as God metes out justice, there are manifold remedies. There's lots of ways to even come to peace with death. There's not just one way. That's certainty, and it's certitude, it's certainty that gets us into trouble. So verse 22, only God knows how to cleave the head of the enemies, right? Now there are enemies out there, that hairy pate.
Look at hairy pate.
It's a hairy pate, which goes about untroubled in his guilt. It's like the one that doesn't, no conscience. And we know that there are people who are so consumed with their own self-worth, their own self-interest, that they have no conscience. They are the hairy pate.
They got hairy pates. Got a sure sign of their guilt.
Hairy pate.
Hairy
and
pates.
they're evil. They really are bad guys. But that's God. That's God's work. It's not our work.
Pates.
Our work is to be good, is to do our best, to not be that. That's enough work for us, is to not be the hairy pate, right? It's God's work to take care of them. Verse 23, for God has promised, I will bring you back from Bashan. I will bring you back from the shadowy depths of the sea. I know you feel lost, but I promise I'm not absent here. I'm doing my work too. So let your foot wade boldly through blood. The tongue of your dogs sent from the foes is really from God. Because everything is God, right? Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. Don't be distracted from your purpose, from what your work is.
Yeah.
Right? Verse 25.
Okay.
Ra'u, for they have seen your ways, O God. Your ways. We have seen your ways. We know. We know that you can help us. How? Because we have
saw your
heard
ways,
this.
you're going about.
Yeah.
Halichot, the ways, the going about of my God, my King in holiness.
And how do we know this? Because the singers go before you, right?
First there's the singers.
Yeah, the minstrels follow after. In the midst,
then
there are the
players.
maidens playing the timbrels, right?
Then the drummers in the
Wow,
middle.
this is music. This is music. This is music and singing and dancing and celebrating. know that there will be that time when we will be in the streets together, celebrating, giving thanks. That's the glimpse of the future we need to hold.
In assemblies, bless God when you assemble. When we come to assembling again, Adonai Mimkori, from the source.
Yeah, bless God in far-flung congregations. Right? In other words, this is not just the God of Israel. This is the God of everything. The truth, the love, forgiveness, understanding, all the attributes of godliness, beauty, kindness, compassion. And here, how do we know this? Because look at the one tribe that's mentioned. It's actually in this week's Torah portion, right? Benjamin, the smallest. Remember the smallest hill was Moriah, was Sinai, right? Even Moriah was not such a great hill. Sinai was the smallest. Why did it get to be the one that we received Torah on? Not because it was the greatest, but it was willing. It was there. And so Benjamin is the smallest. How does Benjamin overcome? It's in this week's Torah portion. It's the words that Judah uses that opens Joseph's heart of forgiveness. Nafsho kisharav nafsho. Describing Jacob, the father's love for his son, Benjamin. If something would happen to Benjamin, Jacob would surely die because nafsho kisharav nafsho. Benjamin, the child, the youngest child, inspires so much love that it opens Joseph's heart. It changes the story for us. Joseph forgives his brothers and gives them food, and for a moment, there is peace. There is peace in our story. There is no war. Why? Because there was enough for everybody. Right? So Benjamin, the smallest, overcomes them. The princes of Judah overcome the thrust of their stones. No more war, no more fighting.
The ones of the strong arms. And the princes of Zebulun, they're the literary ones. And the princes of Naphtali, they're the ones who can speak well.
Yeah. And we need all of them, right? They all come together. 29. Your God has commanded your invincibility. We are like God, we are eternal too. You have prepared us for this repute of invincibility, and
you're working for us.
You've prepared us for those who don't understand that each of us does have a purpose.
And you're working for us.
And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. To serve, right? Verse 30. Out of your temple, far beyond Jerusalem, kings shall yet bring you tribute. In other words,
here's a good word.
Just oh my gosh. Verse 31. But the beautiful thing is that this is not a provincial teaching. This is a universal teaching. It's meant to break down the boundaries, the borders, between us, right? It's meant to make us bigger. Not that we can't have our own paths, our own garments, but to remember that they're just garments, right? There's something much bigger. And it allows us to verse 31, right?
Well, you bring us, wait a minute, shy. Shy, this is an interesting word. These tributes.
Okay. The shy.
This may be a tris.
Verse 30.
Tris legomenon, I think. I think it's only used 3 times. Some sort of tributes.
I can tell you.
Tribute and acknowledgement of submission.
68 verse 30. He doesn't talk about it.
No. It's a tris legomenon.
No.
3 times.
Maybe this guy
used
does.
3 times.
Yeah. Okay. Shy. Verse 30.
Yeah. It's
He doesn't
here.
talk about it.
Yeah, he does.
Where?
Oh my God.
No.
Where did I find this?
I don't know. Somewhere.
Here.
Oh, there it is. The root of Shai would be shaye, even as chaye, the root of chai. Oh, interesting, chai. Okay.
It's used
Verse 31.
in Isaiah
Now do we get to the...
and another Psalm 7:6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so verse 31.
Gar chayat kaneh.
Rebuke the wild beast of the reeds. The wild beast.
Adadi.
Yeah, we know about the wild beast.
You know, I'm familiar with the wild beast.
I know you
I
are.
have experience in that area.
I know you do. You really do.
I could discourse it, and it would not be theoretical.
No, I know that. I know that. You know, the wild beast is of course within us, right?
That's a different kind of wild beast.
Oh.
I'm talking about
the outer wild beast, the real wild
the
beast.
Wild
oh, that's right,
beast.
because you worked in the circus.
That's not for this session.
Rebuke the wild beast of the reeds, the alliance of leading powers among the calf nations. What are the calf nations?
The calves of the peoples, who knows?
Which will cower in the mud for pieces of silver.
That's like their subjects, you know. Their subjects are rooting around in the mud.
Well, yeah, but you know
silver.
what? Here's the deal. If you make people so desperate, they're not going to be able to have the... They don't have the...
Yeah.
They don't have the space
but these
to
are the
be their
people
best selves.
who delight in war. This is what they pursue.
I know.
That's who they are.
I know. And you know, that's what the psalm
These
is
are
really
the people
about.
who are scattered and go after delight in the
more war.
spoils of war.
No more war.
32 nobles, even from Egypt, they come out of Egypt.
The Hasmoneans will come even from Egypt.
Well, there's some...
Hashmonean.
Yeah, there's some...
he likes it that it's the Hasmoneans.
About this.
Which, of course, doesn't really make sense in the timeline here. But
also Cush, next Cush, you know.
Cush shall hasten to stretch out her hands to God. In other words, everybody, even the bad guys, because
even
remember to the rabbis, the Hasmoneans were bad guys.
Yeah.
So everybody is going to stretch it. You got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? Yeah, okay. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Verse 33. Kingdoms of the earth, sing to God.
Shiru Elohim.
Sing Shiru.
Zamru Adonai, so it is. Praise.
Hallelujah. Praise God.
So it is.
Just praise. What does it mean to praise?
Now to the vehicle.
It means you don't get distracted.
Your vehicle, baby. To the vehicle be shmei in
to the
the
one
heavens.
That is the guide in the heavens.
Riding on the heavens.
The one that bestows invincible message.
Saying the
with
voice.
The coal.
The
Kol
voice.
Oz.
The mighty voice.
Kol Oz. A mighty voice.
Tenu Oz Lelohim. Give that voice to God.
Mm-hmm.
Al Yisrael Ga'avata.
Tenu. Give it up to God.
Ve'uzo B'shechakim in the skies. The strength in the skies. Nora, beautiful and awful. Awe-inspiring, awesome.
Yes.
Elohim, you can't use the word awesome. It's a hard word to reclaim.
I know. But that is the last verse. Verse 36 says...
Nora. Let's just call it Nora. Nora.
Oh, one day, people will get it. They'll have awe. They'll be humbled. Right? They'll find their place.
Nora.
One of the names for God is Hamakom. Means find your place in God.
Nora Elohim.
Right? From out of your holy places. Because the God of Israel is not just a particular God. It's a universal thing. It's a universal idea.
Baruch Elohim.
It is the one that grants invincibility and power to a people. Baruch Elohim. Blessed is the plurality. It's not Adonai. It's not Yah. It's Elohim. Blessed is the plurality of existence.
Amen.
And what's the antidote? Nafsho kisharav nafsho. One soul bound up with the other. When we remember that we are souls bound up with the other, so bound up with the other that if we would hurt the other, we hurt ourselves. If we would bless the other, we bless ourselves. So bound up with the other that we would never hurt, especially the people that are closest to you. So let it be a day of compassion, a day of kindness, a day that we tame the wild beast.
Psalm 68, Part 2. Deter the wild beast. This God to us, many ways only God takes on ultimates. Their hairy pates split open, going about with guilt. Said from a mountain, I will bring you back from the depths of the sea. So your foot split a bloody walk, your language of dogs divine. They have seen your paths, O God, the paths of my God, King in holy places. Singers first, after them players, in the middle drummers. In the communities bless God from the fountain, O Israel. There Benjamin, the smallest of them, princes of Yehuda, strong arms, stones thrusting, princes of Zebulun, literary, princes of Naphtali, good talkers. God commanded the strength. You're working for us. Out from your temple, beyond Jerusalem, kings will bring you tribute. Deter the wild beast. The calf nations cower in the mud for the sake of money. Spirit guides will come, even from Egypt. Cush stretches out her hands to God.
Yes.
O kingdoms of earth, sing for God. Jam it. So it is. Vehicle in the heavens of old, give over a voice. Give over strength in the clouds from out of your holy places. Norah, O God, who gives strength and power to people. Baruch Elohim, bless God.
Bless God.
December 20th, 2020, Tehillim on the ceiling.
Yes. Many blessings to all of you today. And thank you for joining us. And we will be back tomorrow morning.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. With
Inshallah.
the next Psalm, Psalm 69, which begins with that beautiful image of the rose. Have a day of lift, a good day, a meaningful day. A day where we tame the wild beast.
Tame the wild
and remember
beast.
To honor those whose souls we are so deeply connected with. A day of lift, a day of compassion, a day of kindness, a day of light.
Amen.
Amen.